If you've heard people talking about freelancing but don't really know what freelancing is, or more importantly, how freelancing can apply to you, don't worry at all. In this video, I'm going to give a full explanation of what freelancing is, and more importantly, how freelancing might be able to help you make serious amounts of money online and some of the ways I think you can get started as a freelancer. But before we dive into it, I got a fun fact for you. The word freelance originated way back in the 1800s. When the word freelance first entered the English language, it was used to describe a medieval mercenary that would fight for whatever nation or person would pay them the most. How's that related to making money online? It isn't, I just thought it was super cool. Anyways, that's where the word freelance comes from. And today its meaning is a little different. Less about being a hired lance, less violence, and more about being more of a hired hand without any specifically binding affiliation to any one company or individual. I'll give you an example to make it more clear. Let's say I apply for a job at Disney as a graphic designer, and Disney gives me the job. Woo! In that situation, I'd be classified as an employee. Disney gives me the job, a fixed salary, I go into work every day and I do whatever type of graphic design work Disney wants me to do because I'm now an employee of Disney as a graphic designer. Now, if I was a freelance graphic designer, instead of applying for a job at Disney, instead, I would try to apply to a project or get Disney to hire me to be a graphic designer on a specific project they're working on for a pre-agreed upon rate and usually a pre-agreed upon scope of work. And after that work is done, I'm on my own, either to find another project with a different customer who is going to pay me to do something for them, or I would convince Disney to hire me for another project. That's the difference in that scenario between being an employee of Disney and a freelance graphic designer working for Disney. A freelancer is essentially their own business. They don't have anyone committed to paying them a fixed salary. They find and get hired to do a whole bunch of different projects, potentially for a whole bunch of different companies. They don't have any particular affiliation. And usually they're individuals with a particular skill or set of work experience that makes them well suited for particular tasks. And they offer up those skills to companies to get stuff done. And for people new to freelancing, you might be wondering why anyone would want to be a freelancer versus an employee. And that's a really good question. Being an employee guarantees you a wage, benefits, sick days, vacation days. Freelancing doesn't offer you any of those things, so why would anyone want to be a freelancer? So there's pros and there's cons, usually dependent on how someone in particular likes to work and make money, and I'll go through them now for you. To start, here are some of the potential pros of becoming a freelancer. You can earn much higher hourly rates than you might be able to working a 9-to-5 job as an employee. You have a lot more flexibility to create your own working hours. You can choose which projects you want to work on and take on and which projects you don't want to work on, which is not really something that employees typically get to choose. Freelancing can make it possible to work remotely while traveling or exploring the world, which is pretty cool. And if you go down the path of becoming a freelancer, you can grow your freelance business from a small business to a large business, agency, whatever you like. It has the potential to scale into something that you own. Now, here are some of the potential cons of becoming a freelancer. Number one is you're not guaranteed to make any money. Number two is you need to actually convince people and organizations to hire you, which can be difficult for people coming into freelancing with no sales experience. You're responsible for all of the business administration stuff when you run a freelance business, whereas working for a company, the company handles a lot of that stuff. Payroll, customer service, conflict resolution, sales. You're responsible for all of that as a freelancer. Another con is you might need to work for little or no money in the early days to get your business off the ground while you build your reputation. And lastly, there's no benefits, no sick days, and no defined vacation days as a freelancer. It's really up to you to manage your workload and make those types of things happen in your life. So who's freelancing for? Well, the short answer is it's for anyone who wants to give it a shot, really. The long answer is if you truly want to succeed as a freelancer, I really think you need to possess some or all of the following traits. The first thing you need to have is you need to have a skill set that you're proficient in or a master in that can actually offer value to people or companies. The next trait you need to have is you need to have the desire to work hard to build your business. You also need to have the patience to be able to deal with tricky customers or sticky situations. And maybe most importantly, you need to have the ability to balance freelancing with other important aspects of your life. Moral of the story is freelancing is a really unique, non-traditional way to work and get paid. Personally, I love it, and it's been a totally life-changing experience for me. And honestly, if you want to give it a shot, you totally should. And lucky for you, I have hundreds of free videos on this YouTube channel to help you down that path if you're totally new to the world of freelancing. So if you're interested, check out videos like this one, where I talk about specific tips and tricks to help people like you get started as a freelancer. Now, I know everyone's different, so if you have questions specific to you or your situation, feel free to leave me a comment. I'd be happy to answer them for you. Till next time, cheers.